Hi everyone, good to see you all. This week I walked from Angel Tube Station to Old Street Tube Station, a very diverse part of London. The walk took me mainly down City Road, and then when I reached Old Street Station I had a quick walk in the streets around that area. This was filmed during Storm Gareth, so bear with me when the camera gets buffeted. I exited Angel Station onto Islington High Street and turned a corner on the left onto City Road going downhill. The first thing to grab my attention is on Torrance Street, and it's a wall covered in the saying, "Do what you love," very appropriate for me and my new venture. The first photo I choose is a cut down version of this and just the word love. And then looking down I see on the ground a sort of licorice all sorts pattern, so I take a photo of that as well. Moving on, the next thing I see is a street clock followed by a Georgian building. But if I was to take a photo of this building again, I would move away from the trees. So to give it a bit of interest, I've coloured it so that the stonework stands out a bit. Looking back towards Islington, the buildings are traditional and low-rise, but if we look towards Old Street, they're definitely new and high-rise. On the way, I take a photo of a couple of traditional Georgian townhouses and also a block of flats of the type that's very typical in London. Rows of Santander bikes are familiar all over London. On our left we have the very new. On our right we have the very old. This must have been an old drover's road where the cattle would have been driven into market, and here we have one of the very old metropolitan drinking fountains and cattle troughs. You can see how windy it is today, and it is quite hard to hold the camera steady. It's in the middle of Storm Gareth. Just a little bit further on the left, we have a canal basin, and you can see that normally this basin would be very flat, but this little bird is bobbing about on some waves it's probably not used to. My next photo shows an interesting pattern on this building, and it's set out in 238, the street number of the building. Moving on, we come to the old city pub, the Eagle, and you can just see on the side the words of the nursery song, "Up and down the city road, in and out the Eagle, that's the way the money goes, pop goes the weasel." Here we have some modern street art to contrast, and on the side of the same building, an old chandeliers sign. Next up is Moorfields Eye Hospital and its distinctive eye-shaped clock. Now I've reached a very interesting building. This is the M Hotel. You can see that the windows are all set at angles, so it looks really amazing. The problem is that today the sky matches the building, so the photos don't really do it justice. I've chosen something to pick a photo of this building. So I could see in one of the windows there's the light of some chandeliers showing through, and you can just see them showing through there, and in this next photo I've highlighted that and cropped it down. I've now arrived at Old Street Roundabout, and unfortunately, even though I'm standing very still and I'm wedged against something, the wind is still blowing the camera about a bit, so we've got a bit of a wavy video here. Next to the roundabout we've got the Shoreditch Grind coffee shop, and I took a photo of that because I kind of like their slogan. Right next to that shop there's lots of beautiful graffiti. I think this is far too elaborate actually to call it graffiti, so I'm going to say wall art. right next to it there's what I can only describe as a modern mirrored glass wall. Does this next photo on the side of a brand new building show everything that the modern Shoreditch Londoner could desire? Moving through the station now, I take a shortcut to the other side, and when I get there I'm ready for some lunch. And you'll see that I've given Pod a shout up because in my mind their food is excellent. That was lovely. Now I'm moving around Old Street Station in a circular walk and just taking photos as I go. This beautiful Zen style building is on a small graffiti painted square, and in the next photo you can see the contrast between the brand new building on one side and the graffiti clad old style on the other. There are lots of huge murals in the area, and I've chosen 2 to photograph here. On the final lap now, and I've really liked this photo of the XOYO nightclub sign because it's neon and it's set against the old and the new buildings. So I've cropped this down and really brought out the neon. Neon is something I've wanted to photograph properly for some time. Next up, I've chosen my 6 favourite photos from today, and here they are. And of all of them, my favourite is the last one, the XOYO sign in neon. Well, in spite of the wind, I really enjoyed making this video this week, so I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you liked it, give a like. Hit the red subscribe button and the bell to be notified about future ones, and have a great week.